Later today, Congress could vote to limit President Trump's powers when it comes to taking further military action against Iran. What Wisconsin's representatives are saying.
And why Madison police say gun violence is still an issue, even as the number of gun-related incidents goes down.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us on this Thursday, January 9th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Ryder. Meteorologist Hattie McLean is here now giving us the first alert on what's really going to be a busy forecast over the next few days.
It certainly is. Things are changing up already this morning. Warm air has been moving in overnight. Temperatures are already well into the 20s. We're up another 2 degrees here in Madison, 28 right now. It is 30 in Janesville, 29 in Platteville. Temps are still below the freezing point, though, so there's a risk for some freezing drizzle yet this morning. Wind chills are in the teens, so even though it's warmer, you're still going to want to bundle up this morning. Here's a look at your temperature profile today. We'll climb above 40 after lunchtime today to a high of 46. Winds will be strong from the south, so that risk for freezing drizzle really confined to the morning hours for southern Wisconsin. Here's a live look at your first alert traffic maps. No major issues to report just yet. Still looking pretty quiet on all those roads here in and around Madison. I did look around the area. There are no accidents to report. Here's what it looks like on the Beltline this morning. Time frame on that freezing drizzle would likely be between 8 and 11 o'clock. Again, after lunchtime, the road should be just fine as temperatures will be in the 40s.
All right, so we'll be watching that forecast, Hattie. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We start this morning with breaking news. One person is in custody after a chase that ended near DeForest. Dane County Dispatch says they were called to help in the incident that started in Sun Prairie. The person in question was taken into custody on the interstate near the DeForest exit. We're told Sun Prairie police will have more information on this incident later this morning. We will, of course, bring you updates both here and on Channel3000.com.
Breaking overseas this morning, Iran investigators say the crew of the Ukrainian jetliner that crashed never made a radio call for help.
The Boeing 737 plane also caught on fire before it crashed shortly after takeoff from Tehran, killing all 176 people on board. A preliminary report released just hours ago says the plane was trying to turn back to the airport when it went down. The captain of the plane was an experienced pilot with more than 11,000 hours of flying experience under his belt. The exact cause of that crash is still unknown.
We're waiting to hear more this morning about a rocket strike in Baghdad near the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. Warning sirens blared last night as 2 rockets hit the country's heavily fortified green zone. Right now, there are no reports of injuries. It's not yet clear who is responsible for firing those rockets or where they were fired from. This comes just one day after Iran launched more than a dozen missiles at 2 bases housing U.S. troops. We're now getting a closer look at the damage those missiles caused. These satellite pictures are all from the U.S. Al-Assad Air Base. Multiple facilities on the base seem to be significantly damaged this morning. Officials say no U.S. troops were hurt in those attacks. President Trump says his administration will be responding with new economic sanctions against Iran. He adds he is ready to embrace peace with Iran and hopes to negotiate a new nuclear deal.
Meanwhile, Iran says it will not stand down until U.S. troops leave the Middle East. The president also facing some opposition here at home over the initial airstrike that sparked these latest tensions. The administration briefed Congress on the strike that killed General Qasem Soleimani in a closed-door session yesterday. 2 Republicans spoke out after that meeting, saying the president needs to be held in check if the military action escalates any further.
It is not acceptable for officials within the executive branch to come in and tell us that we can't debate and discuss the appropriateness of military intervention against Iran.
That right there is Utah Senator Mike Lee, who, along with Kentucky's Rand Paul, say they will join Democrats in voting for a war powers resolution. In the House, Wisconsin Representative Mark Pocan says Congress needs to make sure this situation doesn't get worse.
I'd just like to assure people back home that we're going to do everything we can to make sure that a war doesn't occur. But unfortunately, those very first steps have happened under the direction of President Trump.
Meanwhile, Republican Congressman Mike Gallagher from Green Bay tweeted in part, "If this is the extent of the Iranian reprisal, this is a win for America." Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin also tweeted, saying President Trump should work with Congress to de-escalate this situation.
As tensions fluctuate in the Middle East, people here in Wisconsin with ties to the region are keeping a close eye on the situation. At the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Oshkosh, the goal is always diplomatic.
We are all God's creation and we need to work towards peace. That's what Islam teaches us, that we should always be working towards peace.
Ahmad's travels have taken him to countries like Pakistan, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates, where feelings about America and the West are mixed. As for what's next, Ahmad says our country's leadership has the responsibility of making the right decisions to make the world a better place for everyone.
Happening today, nearly 200 marches are expected to take place to protest a potential war with Iran. They're scheduled all around the U.S. at 5 p.m. local time. None are scheduled for Wisconsin. The closest marches to us are happening in the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
The U.S. Army is warning everyone about a wave of fake text messages telling Americans they've been drafted to fight in Iran. The draft was suspended back in the 70s, and it would take an act of Congress to bring it back. It's unclear how many of these text messages were sent. Military security officials are still investigating this morning.
More local news now. Governor Evers is reflecting on his first year in office, where some of his promises have been delivered and others have seen opposition from a divided government. Overall, Governor Evers says his first year in office has been good, citing gains in education, transportation, and infrastructure. But many more efforts to fulfill promises were blocked by a Republican-controlled legislature. This year, he says he's not giving up on what's left.
If the people in their districts are asking for something, we're going to continue to make the case with them, and hopefully that influence will get them to move on it. We're not giving up, and we're going to try everything we can.
The governor is expected to address the legislature at the State of the State later this month. And looking ahead to next year, Governor Evers says his top priority is criminal justice reform. He says he's met with the Department of Corrections Secretary to figure out how to limit or get rid of solitary confinement. He expects development on that policy to come as soon as next month.
While Madison police say gun violence is still a major problem in the city, recent statistics show the number of shots fired incidents is going down. The department started keeping track in 2017 when it realized those calls were increasing dramatically. That number was 220 in 2017. It went down to 186 in 2018 and down again to 144 last year. The amount of people hurt by gunfire has also gone down in those 3 years.
Good to see the numbers that are going down, and certainly that's hopeful, but still we know there are way too many guns in this community in the hands of lawbreakers, and these are people who are firing bullets in places where people are sleeping, they're shopping, they're driving to work.
Police say that it helps that more people are facing gun charges and they're going through the federal court system now rather than circuit. They also think special units like the Violent Crime Unit are making a difference in the community.
Right now, the Department of Justice wants the state Supreme Court to put on hold in order to purge 200,000 voters from the rolls. The legal fight is now centered over whether that purge order should be carried out while appeals are pending. The DOJ wants justices to put the order on hold by the end of the week or direct a lower appeals court to do it. The ruling could have a big impact on the 2020 presidential election here in Wisconsin.
Looking ahead now, you'll get the chance to meet the 3 finalists for the Madison Metropolitan School District Superintendent position next week. Dr. Matthew Gutierrez, Dr. Marguerite Vanden Wingard, and Dr. George Eric Thomas will be in town next Tuesday through Thursday. They'll be at East High for public sessions where you can meet them and ask questions.
Another area school district will be looking for a new superintendent as well. Verona Superintendent Dean Gurrell is retiring at the end of next school year. He notified the Board of Education yesterday. In a letter to parents, Dr. Gurrell says serving the Verona community has been an honor and a privilege. The board president sent out a note thanking Dr. Gurrell for his 15 years of service. He says they plan to pick a new superintendent by December.
6:09 this morning, and still ahead for us on this Thursday. The Packers are hoping to make it back to the Super Bowl, and we're telling you how you can join them, and all it'll cost you is a pint of blood.
Fingers crossed. And Hattie's giving us the first alert on 2 weekend storms headed our way. Stay tuned. Her extended forecast is next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the patio. It's warmer outside, but pretty windy this morning. I can hear the winds whipping around behind me, still creating a little bit of a wind chill this morning. Our main risk this morning, though, is the potential for some freezing drizzle to develop here across southern Wisconsin. Warm air has been moving into the area all night, but surface temperatures are still below the freezing point, so that may cause some drizzle to develop here across southern Wisconsin. If anything does develop, it's likely to be pretty light, but there is the potential for a light glazing of ice to occur. Now, our temperature trend through the day is steadily upward into the mid-40s. So after about 12 o'clock, temperatures will be in the 40s. And there won't be any risk for freezing drizzle anywhere across southern Wisconsin after that. But again, I did mention there's the potential for a light glazing of ice. Here's a look at future track ice accumulation. It's painting some light ice accumulation north and east of Madison, where temperatures will be coldest the longest. Again, those winds are from the south, so temperatures are warming from south to north this morning. Here's a look at the alert days that are in the forecast. Once we get through the potential for freezing drizzle this morning, we then turn our attention to two storm systems that will impact the area this weekend. The first one on Friday looks to bring impacts to mainly southeastern Wisconsin in the form of light snow or a mix of precipitation. The second one later on Saturday is for the entire area, and that's most likely to be all snow, and it could be heavy at times. We're talking several inches of accumulation possible. So here's a look at your total snow potential. Again, mainly south and east of Madison, some light snow accumulations possible by early Saturday. There also is the potential for some mixed precipitation overnight, so keep that in mind if you are traveling. That snow potential really ramps up on Saturday, and confidence is increasing that we'll see more of a widespread snow event for southern Wisconsin from Saturday afternoon through very early on Sunday. So get those shovels ready. We haven't had to use them much so far this winter. Our weather track, satellite and radar combined, showing you just some clouds moving into the area. Clouds haven't completely covered the entire state just yet. Temperatures are still warming. We're in the mid to upper 20s, even around 30 degrees. Now Boscobel, Mineral Point, join Janesville at 30 degrees this hour. Winds are strong though, southeasterly rather this morning, up to around 20 miles an hour. That's enough to keep those wind chills in the teens. Your future track forecast model shows you turning cloudy today, and by 10 o'clock, there's that potential for some light freezing drizzle, especially north and east of Madison. Temperatures by lunchtime will be right around 40, even into the north, so the risk for freezing drizzle comes to an end. During the afternoon, it'll be warm enough for a few light rain showers. Even into this evening, temperatures will stay rather mild. We'll only drop to around 30 overnight. And as we head through the day on Friday, after the evening commute, that's when we could start to see another mix of precipitation moving into mainly southeastern Wisconsin. Here's your extended forecast. Temperatures drop to highs in the 20s for Saturday and Sunday. Again, keep Saturday in mind for the most likely chance for some accumulating snow across all of southern Wisconsin. Now it's time to turn our attention to the roads. We'll send it over to Stacy Kay for our first alert traffic update. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. So far, so good on the Beltline. Nothing to slow you down at this time in either direction. Looking at other roads here in Dane County, just some of the usual brake lights at Stoughton and Park Streets approaching the Beltline. No problems on East Washington yet. Expect heavier volume after 7. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're moving along with no crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacy Kay.
Stacy K, thank you very much. 6:16 right now. The season of giving may be over, but the American Red Cross is still asking you to give blood.
Right now, the organization says the country is experiencing a serious blood shortage. Christina Laurie joins us this morning with how they're trying to increase that supply. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Josh and Leah. So this is all about technology. Blood donors can not only make an appointment to give on the Red Cross's app, but they can now track their donations as well to see where they end up and receive notifications when their blood is on its way to a patient. Workers at the Red Cross hope these new features will attract younger donors and help them understand just how much of a difference they're making. The app also notifies donors of blood shortages, provides appointment reminders, keeps records of doctors' many physicals, which are done every time you donate, shows how much blood you give compared to other donors, and finds local blood drives and donation centers.
You possibly might even have a blood drive at your school that you're able to, make it really easy, and after school, just pop in.
If you aren't using the app, you can make an appointment to donate by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or even by asking Alexa. The blood donor skill is available on any Echo device. All blood donors must be at least 16 years old, but how old is too old to give? We have a heartwarming story that answers that question ahead at 6:30. And also, if you donate now, between now and January 19th, you're entered to win a free trip to the Super Bowl. And you know, the Packers could be there this year.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty cool.
Hey, now I'm interested.
Put it out in the universe, right?
There you
See
go.
the Packers in person.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, guys.
A bipartisan task force is recommending 13 bills this morning aimed at decreasing water pollution around the state. The bills propose creating a new water policy office, increasing state funding for county conservation workers, and increasing grants for well construction. The bills would also create grants for farmers who work to reduce nitrate pollution from runoff. Altogether, the measures call for an estimated $10 million in new spending.
Sauk Prairie can look forward to a new 70 or 67-acre park slated to open in 2023. The Friends of Sauk Prairie Parks and Recreation says the Culver Community Park will include multi-use fields, ball diamonds, ADA-compliant parks, plus skate and dog parks. The park will be north of Sauk Prairie Road next to the healthcare campus. The family of Craig and Lee Culver will sponsor the park's naming rights.
All right, you can get your tickets for the World Championship Cheese Contest this morning. The Wisconsin Cheesemakers Association is hosting the 33rd biennial contest. It's the world's most respected technical cheese and butter competition. Guests can enjoy a tasting of more than 75 contest standouts from all over the world, including local specialty food and craft beer samples. Tickets are just $30. The Cheese Champion public event is Thursday, March 5th at the Monona Terrace. Organizers say tickets will sell out way before then, so you're going to want to grab yours early. You can buy them at worldchampionshipcheese.org.
It's a good thing our Whole 30 is done by then.
Oh, thank God. I'm online ordering my tickets right now.
I'm already missing my cheese. All right, 6:19 right now, and coming up, a major trend in New Year's resolutions this year is taking a month away from alcohol. Just ahead, we're taking a look at the health benefits you'll get from a dry January when Dr. Mara joins us.
And we are tracking a chance for snow this weekend, but before that, freezing rain in the forecast today. Hattie's in next with your bus stop forecast when News 3 Now This Morning returns. 6:23 on your Thursday. Boy, we have a bit of a warm up out there, like 10 or 15 degrees warmer than yesterday.
Yeah, it's definitely warmer outside this morning. That is posing some problems with freezing drizzle, and then a very busy forecast coming up as we head towards the weekend. So if you like winter weather, maybe you'll love this forecast. Temperatures are a little bit more tolerable this morning. 28 here in Madison, 26 in the Dells. In Janesville, you're already at 30 degrees, as is Mineral Point and Platteville. Yesterday at this time, numbers were in the single digits. We do have a bit of a wind chill, though, to factor in as you sent those kids to the bus stop. Wind chills are in the teens and low 20s early this morning. Winds will stay strong through the day, but with temperatures climbing into the 40s, wind chill really isn't going to be a factor later on today. Now, there is the potential for some freezing drizzle early as you drop the kids off at school this morning, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, just cloudy skies with a few showers or some light drizzle this afternoon. High temperatures will be in the middle 40s. We do have alert days in the forecast. Coming up, I'll tell you when you may need to pack those snow boots in the backpack.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Well, hopefully your New Year's resolutions are off to a good start, and maybe one of them is to have a dry January in a month without alcohol.
Josh and I are doing that as part of Whole30. Here to tell us more about the benefits of the idea is Dr. Mandira Mehra from SSM Health. Good morning.
Good morning. So are you willing to tell us how difficult it is? We're about a week in. How difficult is it?
So I haven't had any issues yet, really. Like
Yeah,
yesterday
I'm
was more
fine.
just with my hunger, but I made it through. I'm still doing good. I'm feeling good, too.
Good, good. Sleeping better, feeling
Yeah.
better, saving money.
Yes, saving money. I mean, it's insane how much money you can spend on alcohol. We had a story this morning that you can spend $300 a month on that.
Easily, and a lot of us don't realize it. You know,
Right.
whether it's social, whether it's to assuage some of those anxieties, whether it's to take the edge off at night, it really does become part of our daily life or weekly life, and we don't really realize it. But I do want to encourage people to really think about this dry January wellness challenge or New Year's resolution. Really what this means is exactly what it says. You're abstaining from alcohol for exactly a month. Now, the health benefits even outreach just the month of January. The study showed that even people that did dry January just for a couple weeks, they didn't even make it the full month. Throughout the year, they noticed drinking at least 1 to 2 less drinks a month. And now again, if you start doing the math, you see how much monetary value that has. Also, the study showed people that did the dry January, like you said, reported things like feeling better, sleeping better, being happier, able to have more energy, of course, saving the money, having better skin. Now, if I told you there's one thing that could do all of that, sign me up, right? Now, why do we drink, though? This is a good chance to let us all kind of reevaluate why we drink. And people do this for different reasons. They looked at men, they looked at women. Men often drink to enhance an activity, like a sport outing or things like that. Women often will look to alcohol to maybe assuage some of those anxieties or take the edge off, things like that. So this is a great opportunity to really look at why is it that we have that drink, whether it's nightly, weekly, is it with peers, and then looking for other alternatives. So for example, if you know that you use it as a way to calm those nerves or really get rid of those anxieties, looking at other ways we can do that safely. Is it meditation? Is it yoga? Is it working out? If you do this as just a social activity with your peers, looking at ways that we can still have fun, but not necessarily drink. Now we covered the story last year too, and I had a lot of people over the past year reach out and say, now Dr. Mehra, it's really difficult because when I go out, it's that social peer pressure that, you know, my friends are drinking, my colleagues are drinking, I don't want to be that weirdo. This is a great opportunity to reach out to your friends, your family, go on social media and challenge those people in your life that are closest to you and say, you know what, there's a way we can be happier, healthier, save money, have better skin, and sleep better. I'm challenging all of us to do a dry January. That way you're involving your friends, your family, and you're all leading a happy, healthier life. Isn't that the goal of 2020?
Yeah, and I know, speaking for myself, I'm already feeling good this week, so I can only imagine what it's going to feel like after this month.
Right.
The magical cure.
There you go.
And I know it causes people anxiety just to think about not having that, but you know, it really is good for you. So just think, if you make this change for 30 days, it could affect the rest of 2020.
I like the sound of that. Dr. Mehra, thank you, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Good to see you. Still ahead this morning, we have the top 3 things you need to know as you head out the door on your Thursday.
And we're continuing to update you on the ongoing fires in Australia as the death toll continues to rise. This is News 3 Now this morning.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good Thursday morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this January 9th. I'm Josh Breider.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. Let's get straight to your top 3 headlines on your Thursday. Breaking news overnight. Iranian investigators say the crew of the Ukrainian jetliner that crashed never made a radio call for help. A report released just hours ago says the plane was trying to turn back to the airport when it went down. It caught on fire before crashing, killing all 176 people on board.
The House is set to vote today on a war power resolution that limits President Trump's actions on Iran. Meanwhile, President Trump says he plans to implement economic sanctions against that country after it launched more than a dozen missiles on 2 bases housing U.S. troops. Iran says it won't make any concessions until U.S. troops are removed from the area.
And Madison police say gun violence is still a problem for our city, but recent statistics show the number of shots fired incidents is actually going down. The department started keeping track back in 2017 when it realized those calls were increasing dramatically. Last year, there were 144 incidents. That's down from 186 in 2018.
Those are your top 3 things you need to know today. And Hattie's here now with what you need to know with weather and traffic, and it's a busy forecast, Hads.
It certainly is. A lot going on, Josh and Leah. Temperatures are definitely milder this morning, but we're still below freezing across southern Wisconsin. 28 here in Madison, 26 in the Dells, 30 in Janesville. Temps are expected to warm, but with that warm air moving into the region, we may see some drizzle develop yet this morning before temperatures climb into the 40s. So be aware that there may be some slippery spots and untreated surfaces this morning between the hours of 8 and 11. Here's a look at your driving conditions right now. Your first alert traffic maps showing you a few brake lights showing up on the Beltline at Stoughton Road. Pretty typical for this time of the morning. No other issues to report across southern Wisconsin. Coming up in weather, we will be talking about some snow, though. This is a look at your snow chances going into Friday night and Saturday morning. Starting to ramp up just a little bit here across southern Wisconsin.
Ooh, we'll stay tuned. Thank you very much, Hattie. Breaking into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. One person is in custody after a police chase that ended near DeForest. Dane County Dispatch says the incident started in Sun Prairie. Officers arrested a suspect on the interstate near the DeForest exit. We are expecting more information from Sun Prairie Police later this morning. We will, of course, bring you those updates right here on News 3 Now and on Channel3000.com.
An update to breaking news now overseas. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison is confirming this morning that 27 people have died and more than 2,100 homes have been destroyed so far in the ongoing brush fires. Authorities are now issuing new warnings and evacuations across the southeastern part of that country this morning as the threat of extreme heat and high winds is expected to worsen later today. The Australian National Weather Service says this 3-year drought shows no signs of letting up after their hottest and driest year on record.
6:33 on your Wednesday. Right now, the American Red Cross says it's 21,000 blood donations below what was expected over the holidays.
That shortfall is impacting us in Madison, and our Christina Laurie joins us with how you can help. Christina, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. So the official giving holiday season may be over, but the American Red Cross is still asking you to give blood, that is. The holiday travel season plus the start of cold and flu season caused the number of blood volunteers to drop well below both expectations and need. And now the Red Cross is in extra need of platelets, which only last for 5 days, and type O negative blood, which is the universal blood type. But the Red Cross says they'll take anything they can get. They are in short supply of all types of blood. Usually it's adults who donate, but moms and dads watching, you can bring your kids with you and they can donate as well, as long as they're 16 years old, weigh at least 110 pounds, and are in good health. So how old is too old to give? You have to hear this really cute story from Laura at the Red Cross.
I actually had a lady not too long ago who was 90. She was on her like 100th gallon of blood. She's been a blood donor her whole life. It really gave her some encouragement being 90 years old, knowing that she was donating to babies.
This blood shortage is so dire, the American Red Cross is raffling off a trip to the Super Bowl to blood donors from now until January 19th. We have more information on that up on our website, Channel3000.com. And the Red Cross is also using technology to attract more donors. Blood donors can not only make an appointment to give on the Red Cross's app, but they can now track their donations to see where they end up and receive notifications when their blood is on its way to a patient. So you really get that human connection. You know, it's not just coming out of you and then you leave the donation place.
I really want to meet that woman that Laura was talking about.
I do too. I want a picture at least. Maybe
Yes.
a cute story. Laura, if you're seeing this, send us that.
That's so adorable. All right, Christina, Lori, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, still ahead this morning in the Morning Sprint, we'll tell you how you can meet the candidates for Madison's new school superintendent.
And we're also taking a look at how a new personal assistant that looks like it's straight out of Star Wars can help you out. Stay with us. This is News 3 Now this morning. .639 right now. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and Trish put this on Facebook, tagging our Leah Linscheid, saying this 5-year-old cow Rebel was first out the door to feed on Sunday morning.
Yeah, you got to kind of zoom in because most people are paying attention to those colors. Look at that little cutie.
I'm not sure if Trish tagged you for the fact that you like cows or the fact that we really like to eat and we be the first ones out the door to eat.
Smart woman there, Trish.
So many different ways.
Thanks for sharing this picture. We love it.
Well, if you got a morning picture that you'd like to share with us, all you have to do is send it to us over on our Facebook page and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning so we can air our favorites right here on News 3 Now this morning. 6:39 right now. The ongoing Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas is continuing to introduce new gadgets that you can bring into your home.
That includes a new personal assistant from Samsung that looks like it came right out of Star Wars. Check him out. His name is Bali. He may look like just a tennis ball, but he can actually follow you around the house and anticipate your needs while also acting as a companion. Yeah, we giggled at this earlier as well. Samsung expects it to resonate especially well with pet owners because the robot can keep an eye on animals who are home alone. I think it's a little creepy that it follows you around, but it is cute.
It is cute. I guess keep you a little company
Sure.
if you're a little lonely.
Sure.
Why not? Another household item is jumping on the smart home trend. At the push of a button, the smart can from Town New will automatically seal the trash bag and open so you can remove it. The bin also lifts the top compartment to catch any excess and prevent spills. And here's the best part, once the old bag is gone, the trash can puts a new one in place. I like that idea. I hate taking out the trash.
Me too.
As you can probably guess, this won't be your standard cheap trash bin. The smart trash can ring in right around $1,000.
I still stand by the idea that we need chores for the kiddos. I might pass on this one.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for something like that.
Yeah, it is. All right, Trolls Live is coming to the Overture next week, and we here at the News 3 Now Morning Show are giving away a free family 4-pack. All you have to do is go to the contest section of our website and have your kids submit a picture of one of us on the morning team as a troll by the end of the day, Thursday, for a chance to win. We will randomly pick a winner and announce them on Friday morning show. And we brought a little sneak peek of what trolls are supposed to look like.
So one of our coworkers, Christopher Hobbaker, brought in some of his kids as trolls just to give us a little perspective. We've got them out here.
What do you think?
They're a little creepy and some of them aren't dressed, but...
They're not dressed at all. But I do really resonate with the hair. This is what I look like when I wake up in the morning.
So then we had these, yesterday we showed Jake, our producer's troll. Well, this morning we have the Leah and Josh version from our Christina Laurie. We got little side-by-sides comparisons there. I don't know if we can get some close-ups. She even got the blue and the purple today, and she didn't even know that that's what we were wearing.
And look, you have Josh's little cup.
I got the little Josh mug there.
I've got my Live Like Levi bracelet, and it's a running joke in the newsroom that I'm constantly eating sweets. So I have a donut here. Pretty accurate. I think Christina would win.
It's awesome. Good work, and we are excited to see all those. Again, we'll announce that tomorrow morning. Just go to channel3000.com.
All right.
Still ahead for us on this Thursday morning. Hattie's tracking the chance for a snowy weekend here in southern Wisconsin. She'll have the latest updates from the First Alert Weather Center coming up. Now it's your turn.
But first, it's a very all right Thursday, January 9th. We want to say happy birthday to Broxton, Grayson, Lane, and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us here on News 3 Now this morning. Enjoy that donut.
For reliable weather day in and day out, watch First Alert Weather. Look who
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. A view of the Capitol behind me. No issues with fog this morning. We have pretty strong winds and milder conditions, though. You're starting to see more 30s on the map at this hour. It is 30 in Mineral Point, even 31 in Platteville, 30 in Janesville. Temperatures will warm from south to north, but as long as they're below the freezing point, there is a risk for freezing drizzle this morning. Not seeing anything showing up just yet on high-resolution Doppler radar, but after 8 o'clock, again, as temperatures continue to warm, we may see some of that drizzle develop here in southern Wisconsin. Future track ice accumulation is indicating that there's a chance for light glazing of ice, mainly north and east of Madison, where temperatures will stay coldest the longest this morning. But again, there is that potential all across southern Wisconsin. Any untreated surfaces may turn a little slick this morning. Once we make it through that risk for freezing drizzle, we then turn our attention to some alert days and more wintry type precipitation. Looking mainly south and east of Madison for the first event Friday night into Saturday morning. Could be a mix of snow, sleet, or even some freezing rain. And then later on Saturday, more of a snow event for the entire area. That snow may be heavy at times. And again, with some of these accumulations, we're talking several inches of snow on the ground. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. This is at 11:30 p.m. on Friday night. You can see some of that moisture moving into southeastern Wisconsin. Very colorful, so all types of precipitation possible. We'll get a break in the action midday Saturday morning, and then once we get into the later afternoon hours, that snow starts to redevelop here across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures will be cold enough all across the area that we are expecting all snow for the region Saturday night into very early on Sunday. Again, this second snow event should clear the area pretty quickly on Sunday. Here's a look at your future track snow accumulation through Saturday morning. Very light accumulations, mainly southeastern Wisconsin. Really no accumulation north and west of Madison. Going through Saturday, though, that's when those numbers start to really increase. There will likely be a sharp cutoff on the northern edge of this snow event, so there could be a huge range in snow totals for southern Wisconsin. Currently, we're at 28 degrees. Wind chill, though, still in the teens, so keep in mind it still feels chilly outside this morning. Most locations have wind chills in the teens early today. Your future track forecast model calls for temperatures to still be just a little bit above the freezing point, so there's the potential for some freezing drizzle or light freezing rain, especially north and east of Madison after 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. By lunchtime, though, temperatures in the 40s in most locations, so the risk then turns to just rain. Our forecast calls for a few scattered showers, even into the evening time frame. We'll quiet things down for tomorrow morning. Here's your extended forecast. We are going to cool it down for the weekend. Keep in mind, travel across the area may be difficult, especially later on Saturday. Here's our Pet Walk forecast.
Larry!
Oh, Larry in Portage, love it.
Quite artsy.
Yes, look at all the colors in that picture.
Larry's a poser.
I love it.
I couldn't tell if he had boots on there for a second.
It kind of looks like
Boots?
it. Either way, he's a cool dog.
Don't need those boots for today's walk. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The morning sprint is straight ahead. It is 6:52, time for the morning sprint with a number of updates to get you caught up on for your Thursday.
We start with breaking news. One person is in custody after a police chase that ended in DeForest. Dane County Dispatch says the incident started in Sun Prairie. Officers arrested a suspect on the interstate near the DeForest exit. We are expecting more information from police later this morning. We'll bring you those updates over on channel3000.com.
Iran investigators say the crew of the Ukrainian jetliner that crashed never made a radio call for help. The Boeing 737 plane also caught on fire before it crashed shortly after takeoff from Tehran, killing all 176 people on board. A preliminary report released just hours ago says the plane was trying to turn back to the airport when it went down. The cause of that crash is still unknown.
We are waiting to hear more this morning about a rocket strike in Baghdad near the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. Warning sirens blared last night as 2 rockets hit that country. Right now, there are no reports of injuries. It's not clear who's responsible for those rockets or where they were fired from.
This comes just one day after Iran launched more than a dozen missiles at 2 bases housing U.S. troops. We're getting a closer look at the damage those missiles caused. These satellite pictures are from the U.S. Al-Assad Air Base. Multiple facilities on the base seem to be significantly damaged this morning. Officials say no U.S. troops were hurt in those attacks.
The House is set to vote today on a war powers resolution that limits President Trump's actions on Iran. Meanwhile, President Trump says he plans to implement economic sanctions against that country. This after it launched more than a dozen missiles on 2 bases housing U.S. troops. Iran says it will not make any concessions until U.S. troops are removed from that area.
The U.S. Army is warning everyone about a wave of fake text messages telling Americans that they've been drafted to fight in Iran. The draft was suspended back in the 70s, and it would take an act of Congress to bring it back. It's unclear how many of these texts were sent. Military security officials are still investigating this morning.
And you're waking up to a lot of clouds here across southern Wisconsin. Here's the view in Platteville this morning. There is the potential for light glazing of ice, especially north and east of Madison. So any untreated surfaces may turn a little slippery yet this morning before temperatures climb above the freezing point. Temps will definitely be above freezing today, though, with highs in the mid-40s this afternoon.
Thank you, Hattie. In Australia, the number of people killed by wildfires is up to 27 this morning. More than 2,100 homes have been destroyed, and authorities are issuing more warnings and evacuations today with extreme heat and high winds in the forecast. The National Weather Service says the 3-year drought shows no signs of letting up after the country's hottest and driest year on record.
Now the Red Cross says the country is experiencing a significant blood shortage, and they're asking for your help. The holiday travel season, coupled with the start of cold and flu season, caused the number of blood volunteers to drop well below both expectations and need. Now the Red Cross is in extra need of platelets, which only have a 5-day shelf life, and type O negative blood, the universal blood type. But they say they will gladly accept all donations. You can register to give on the Red Cross's app, and donating now through the 19th of January gives you a chance to enter a Super Bowl giveaway. Head to our website for that information.
Christina, thank you. Governor Evers says his top priority for 2020 is criminal justice reform. He says he's met with the Department of Corrections Secretary to figure out how to get rid of or limit solitary confinement. He expects development on that policy as soon as next month.
Madison police say new numbers show the number of shots fired incidents in the city is going down. Last year, officers counted 144 incidents. That's down from 186 in 2018. Police say special units like the Violent Crime Team are making a difference in our community.
The Department of Justice wants the state Supreme Court to put on hold in order to purge 200,000 voters from the rolls. The legal fight is now centered over whether the purge order should be carried out while appeals are pending. The DOJ wants justices to put the order on hold by the end of the week or direct a lower appeals court to do it. The ruling could have a big impact on the 2020 presidential election.
You have a chance to meet the 3 finalists for Madison's new school superintendent. You're taking a look at the candidates right now. They're going to be in town next Tuesday through Thursday. You can meet them at a series of public sessions happening next week at East High School.
Another area school superintendent will be looking, or school district will be looking for a new superintendent. Verona Superintendent Dean Gorell is retiring at the end of next school year. He notified the Board of Education yesterday. In a letter to parents, Dr. Gorell says serving the Verona community has been an honor and privilege. The board president sent out a note thanking Dr. Gorell for his 15 years of service and says they plan to pick a new superintendent by December.
All right, 6:57 your time now. Let's turn it over to Stacy Kay with a look at your first alert traffic. Hey, Stacy.
Hey, the westbound side of the Beltline is picking up now between Stoughton and Fish Hatchery. Starting to tap the brakes on inbound John Nolan at the Rimrock, Olin, and North Shore Drive intersections, making your way into downtown. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're busy, but moving along with no crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Stacy Kay.
Thank you, Stacy. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV sky camera here in Madison. Cloudy skies early this morning. No drizzle just yet, but that is a possibility as we head through the mid-morning hours. Temperatures, though, will eventually climb well above the freezing point today to a high of 45. May even see a few light rain showers later on this afternoon.
All right, thank you, Hattie.
And thank you for joining us. Guess what? It's almost Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. Make it a great day.